Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Win. I am a painter and a poet who is venturing out to create a viable creative business. And what I mean by that is I am on the path of making sure that I can live off my art, continue my creativity, but also make sure that it is sustainable at the same time. Long story short is I want to make a living out of my art, which for me the forms are painting and poetry. I'm here to take you along this journey with me. Today I'm going to actually do my makeup and talk to you at the same time, which is going to be really interesting because I've never done this before. As I do my makeup, which I hope would bring some form of interest to this video, I want to talk about my personal journey in how I see content creation and creativity and making art and writing poetry alongside sort of creating something that is actually going to be viable as a career. So I have a lot of thoughts around this. I will share them with you along the way. If you didn't know, my ethnicity is from Burma, so I am Burmese, and some people call it Myanmar or Burma, and the country is in the Southeast Asia. It actually borders like 5 countries, so it borders Thailand, China, Laos, India, and I missed something, and Bangladesh. So it borders 5 countries, and I was born there, but when I was around 7 or 8 years old, I actually moved to England with my family. Basically traveled all the way across the world to provide a better life for themselves and for their family. So let me begin, or else I'm gonna keep talking and I'll never start. I'll link all the products that I'm using in the description because I want to actually keep this as short and sweet as possible. And if I'm looking this way, it's because I'm looking in the mirror. So the past video that I did all of a sudden got a lot of traction and brought so many new viewers and subscribers to my channel. So if you're new here, welcome, and I hope that I'll be able to provide some value along the way. I'm still figuring this journey out, and it's a constant learning process. But when I reached a lot more people, I think the video got like over 800 views, which for me as a small creator is really like rewarding. Feels really rewarding because I do put a lot of effort into making short videos and long videos and making sure that I'm learning and teaching myself along the way. Okay, I feel like right now I need to actually show you what I'm doing. So this is a highlighter. Let me tell you that all the products that I'm using is literally like the makeup that I put on every single day when I do put makeup on and I'm going out and I feel like it. And it's great to have like a solid sort of process of doing my makeup because it makes it more efficient. I already know what I'm doing, so it's not too much work. So I put highlight on my nose, just want to see my eyes, the bridge of my like here, and also I put highlight on the top of my cheeks. There you go. So I put a few dots in and I just sort of blend basically. So yeah, as I was saying, it makes things really rewarding, and it feels like, you know, I had like a little glimpse of like my journey on here and my relationship that I'm building with you and what's to come. And I also noticed that there were a lot of people who resonated with me, were fellow creatives and also people who are from an ethnic minority background like me. And being an immigrant is such a huge spectrum, but I felt like I have a lot more people who are from like a diverse range of background, and I'm really happy about that because that's who I am, and I hope that me coming on here and me sharing my journey with you to create a viable artistic career and pathway will help also to reach your dreams and goals as well. So I'm now going to put a bronzer, and this is what I'm using, and it comes in a little like pot like this. So I literally just like tap it onto the cap so I get a little bit, and I actually use just like a blusher brush to put it on. So I dab a little bit, and then I like dab and then flick it off a little bit, and then I put it like underneath here and underneath here. So I work full-time currently, and when I think back on sort of my career so far, is that I am a professional landscape architect, and I've been working as a professional landscape architect for over 8 years now. And my parents wanted to make sure that I have built up, something more stable for myself. So if you're from an immigrant family, you know that most of your options are either like being a doctor or an engineer or something viable. So when it came to me picking jobs, I kind of liked science. I really loved art. I think for a lot of people who are creative, architecture becomes almost like a default job. And architecture for me even was so like boxy and constrained into like internal. So I ended up choosing landscape architecture, which is a profession that basically designs everything outside of the building. So because landscape is so diverse, it could be a public park, it could be a residential garden, or it could be like a huge like farm area where you're putting like solar panels on, stuff like that. So this is the job that I've been doing for the past 8 years, and still currently am in this. I want to break the stereotype that if you are from a minority background, or just if you are, just anyone, because I think the stigma is still there that, if you wanted to basically have a job that is more artistic, that it's risky, it's not stable, and that it's not even a job, some people say. And I don't think that is true. From everything that I've been doing for the past year, nothing could be further from the truth. And I want to share this journey here, and I hope to be more transparent with it. I feel like sometimes I overthink a lot of the content that I make, thinking that I need to be doing this or that, when really like me showing up as myself and me sharing my journey is probably the most authentic and honest thing to do. Sometimes I put on a blusher. I actually want to try something. I found online like people who have been putting blushes like more like here, like right underneath. I usually put mine like smiling and putting it on my cheeks here, but I want to kind of put it maybe a bit higher and see how that looks. Interesting. I don't know if I'm putting it in the right place, but here we go. I think when Asian girls, like from like Korea or China, when they put on like blushes and it's just like right here and they have this like certain like pinky glow, I think it's really nice. I've just never sort of figured out how they do it, but I think they try and put it on like as high to their cheekbone as possible. Anyway, I'm very new in my journey, so doing this is nice. And hopefully I do create videos that I can look back on in the future and be like, wow, Win, you have come so far from where you started, and you have grown so much, and you have just accomplished a lot. Speaking of accomplishment, I wanted to touch on this one thing. Ooh, one final thing I actually forgot. Something that I do put on right in the beginning is a concealer. I completely forgot. This is the concealer that I use. I'm gonna try and put it on anyway. It makes the world of a difference when I put on the concealer. I'm just gonna dab a little bit on because I don't want to mix it with my blush now that I sort of messed up the step, but it's okay. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I want to touch on this one thing. I've seen a lot of videos online and it talks about brow gel. It talks about how like there's a lot of videos that talk about how like you quit your 9 to 5 and you end up, you know, creating your new 9 to 5 with content creation and facing burnout and things like that. I don't believe that that is actually the full story. Like, for example, if you're trying to build a viable business, even without being online, my boyfriend's dad built his own sales business from the ground up, and it took a lot of work, and he never came up showing up online here. And in that time back in the day, he had to like go from door to door to actually, you know, make sure that he builds up his client. And that is still time and that is still work. And the reality is that if you are building anything from the ground up, it's going to take time and it's going to take a lot of our like physical and mental energy. But the main thing I feel like is not really about the time that we are like putting in, as long as we are enjoying what we do. What I go off on is like how I feel in my heart and my mind. Even if I've spent long hours doing a video edit or painting or writing and I've stayed up super early into the morning, if I wake up the next day and I just feel this sense of fulfillment in my heart, then I've kind of realized that that for me is an indicator that I am heading in the right direction. Yes, there are not going to be beautiful days where you wake up feeling fulfilled and energized. There are days when, you know, I'm really tired and I question myself, I doubt myself, and this path is in fact very unpredictable because what I am doing is literally like creating form out of nothingness, which I think anyone who is starting a business is doing, is creating something that is like tangible out of this one idea that they have. That is what I have to say about this whole thing in general. And honestly, when I keep seeing like the views go up, the comments that you left, it made me feel really grateful that you're here. It made me feel like I'm not talking to myself in front of the camera, and perhaps I can really make a difference by showing up on here and sharing myself and my art and my journey. So I hope that you will continue to enjoy these videos, and I hope that you will continue to stick with me along the way. I really appreciate it. Let's continue. I'm gonna put on an eyeliner, which is the last thing I do. Sometimes I put on mascara, but if I put on an eyeliner, for me, like, that's good. That's great. Actually, after an eyeliner, I will put on a lipstick because lipstick is, for me, like a must. I'm gonna shift this a little bit here so you can actually see. There we go. Yeah, you can actually see what I'm doing. I'll pull this back as well. There we go. Can you see that? I hope so. You see the little flake. I'm gonna do the other eye. You probably won't be able to see this eye, but yeah, so this is pretty much like the base of what I do if I am putting makeup on. This is pretty much as far as I go, but I do put on a lipstick. So I'm wearing this like corally outfit today. So I think I'm going to go with like a pinky tone. This is something I got from my mum, is she mixes lipstick colors together, which to me is so interesting because it's just like painting. You're pretty much painting on your lips. There we go. So It's like a corally color. And here is the finished look. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching this video. So I've actually moved here because I want to show you the full outfit. I want to bring some color into the autumn and winter season. So I'm trying to do this thing where I'm layering up. So this is like a summery play suit with a top that is just like a high neck navy top. Okay, I'm gonna end it here.